Picking up where we left off in Algebra 2, Note 6.1, this is the third page. And you're going to see this list here looks very similar to the list we did a minute ago when we classified monomials. Now, the trick here is in a polynomial, you want to find the term with the highest degree, and that settles the argument. So if you look at this example down here, there's b to the third power, but it gets eclipsed by b to the fifth power. So this one's quintic because of that b to the fifth power, and you ignore the rest. The one next to it where it says a, b, c, d, e, that's quintic because there's 5 variables in a row all multiplied by each other. Now, to give you another example here, we have in this example here, this part's quadratic, but next to it is a more important cubic. You can see the third power there is higher than the second power. So you always choose the term with the highest exponent in it, or the most number of variables in it. There's only one variable in that one, but there's 3 variables in that one. So what we have here is 2 examples of cubic expressions. Okay, once you get above quintic, and by the way, the vocabulary is the same with a monomial. You just ignore all the inferior or lower powers. So you find the highest power, and that settles the argument. Let me just circle the ones that would make this one would be quadratic because of that, quadratic because of that, quartic because of that one, quartic because of this one, and so on. Okay, down here, the highest exponent is this n to the 7th, so that would make this degree 7. And here, there's a degree 80 down there, but this degree 100 up here eclipses it, so this is degree 100. Okay, so for the next 2 problems, or 3 problems, you're going to need a TI-84 calculator. And I'll give you a minute to go pick yours up or get yours ready. Okay, you have your TI-84 turned on and ready to go here, and I'm just going to list the steps. This is something we've done earlier in the year, but I'll just remind you. You want to clear the RAM by going second plus 7, 1, 2. And that'll put your calculator on factory settings. All right, then you want to go stat. It's a big key on the second line of your calculator, third one from the left. And edit, and it should already be highlighted, so all you have to do is hit enter. And then you're going to take all the x values in the list above, and you're going to put it in list number 1. And you do that by typing -1, enter, 0, enter, 1, enter, 2, enter, and 3, enter. And then you use the right arrow. And starting with the 22, you put the y values into list number 2, which is that second column. All right, once you've done that, you're going to go to the y equals key and hit the up arrow and turn this plot number 1 on by hitting enter. So put your cursor on top of plot 1 and hit enter. It should be darkened. And then say zoom number 9. And you'll get the plot, which should look like a dot there, 2 dots about there, and 1 just above the x-axis. And you can see that a quadratic model, a parabola, would go through here pretty well. Okay, they asked for a quadratic model this time, so the next thing you're going to do is go back to the stat key, but use your right arrow to go over to calc. So stat, right arrow, and you'll see that the quadratic regression choice is number 5. On the next menu, you want to go down to the line that says Store Reg Equation. And you want to type in Y1 there, and the way you get that Y1 there is by hitting the alpha key, the trace key, and enter. Then go to calculate and hit enter. That's the low, you'll see it there. It says calculate and hit enter. And then write down the quadratic model. Your first coefficient is 5. The next one is negative 15.2. And the constant that they give you, the C value, is plus 4.8. And you should be able to do this. We did this last semester quite a bit. Okay, so repeat performance here, but now we're looking for a cubic model. First time we've done this. So you're going to hit second plus 712. That'll clear the RAM. And then hit stat edit. And you want to put these numbers in for your X values in list 1. Give me a minute, I'll do the same. Once you're done with that, go over to the list 2, and you're going to put in these values for your Y values in list number 2. Double check to make sure you've got all your numbers correctly. Okay, and then you're going to go to your Y equals key. It's in the top left corner of your calculator. Hit the up arrow and hit enter to turn the plot 1 on. And then choose zoom 9. And your calculator gives you a graph that looks something like it should be something like this. Now, the characteristic we're looking for here, that makes it not quadratic, is it goes up like this, but a parabola would continue downwards like that. This has an S-shaped curve where it starts to curve back up again. And if you were to extend this picture, it probably would extend back up. Anyway, it does tell us it's cubic, so we're not fishing for that answer. We know it's cubic because they told us that. So go to the stat key, hit right arrow to calculate, and you'll see it's choice 6 this time. Once you hit enter, you want to go down to the store reg equation line. And put your Y1 on there by hitting alpha trace enter. Go ahead and calculate your cubic model. And they're longer than the quadratics. You can see it's got an x cubed term in it. So I'm going to write this out here. Y equals, I'll be rounding. So where it says 0.1997, I'm just going to say 0.20. And that's the A value. For B, I want to go negative 1.90. And that's the quadratic term. Okay, the linear coefficient is 3.47 when you round. And the constant is negative 7.75. Okay, there's a final part to the problem. We got to find the value of y when x is 8. And you do that by going second table settings. Second table. Oh, you have to go ask mode. I'm sorry. Second table settings, ask mode. Then you go second table. And type in 8. And it'll give you the Y value that you're after, which in this case is 0.55. And that does it for page 3 of our note.